Yat welcome to this teaching series of Winter Story, which is under the umbrella of the Hojon Center. And part of the Hojon Center teaching story is to help us with, you know, uh, ongoing education, learning new things, and also a way to strengthen our spirituality, our spiritual life. So we're caring for our mind, body, and our physical and our spiritual. And so these cultural education is really important for us so that we stay connected to our identity as who we are as a people. And this morning, again, I welcome Leonard Anthony of Shiprock, who is a cultural educator consultant on Diné teachings, culture, philosophy. So this morning's topic is a really important topic. It's the gift of changing woman. So I want to say Hehe again, Shania, for
Well,
joining us and to help us broaden our mind, our thinking, our knowledge, our spirituality, so that we learn to continue to take care of our physical and our mental. So Hehe, Shania, it's good to have you with us again. So I will turn it over to you to uh, move forward with us on your teaching.
good morning. Not even this
Yeah.
morning, just like the few information that Cornelia gave us, information about mentality, emotions, and also to physically and spirituality part of our lives. I always say that one of the most important gifts that we should really take more time with it is to be kind and also to be observant. When I say observant, meaning, most people, when I talk with them, or they're just in this tunnel phase, people, they just have this look. That's all they see. That's all they see. That's the same vision, that scope that an alcoholic has. And for us, it's the same, even though we don't drink, we don't do things, but we have that same mentality. We just only concentrate on a few things. And we're not observant around our surroundings. We need to widen our scope, widen our mind, widen our view of people. But when you just have that certain tunnel vision, it's unfortunate that we just become secluded, you might say. So that's the key word that Cornelia talked about, is we need to kind of expand our 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 intelligence and cultural activities, and so because it's part of you. Today's presentation is part of you. It's who you are, really. It's who you are, and the kiss you as a Navajo woman, Navajo man, and your children, and their your grandfather, your grandma, and my son, your maternity side, and your maternal side, and the maternal side. So this is kind of what we're going to go towards that direction today. So today's presentation, on your first, you see the slides, is the gift given by changing women. That's a long story, but here I've cut the story so that my audience can see what I'm talking about. And so today's presentation of why she left us Adonai, the clanship and the kinship. The process starts with you as the employee, as a member of this congregation, and sometimes people don't really talk about it because we don't know. We don't know. And so sometimes we ask. And so the classroom is the place to put this into practice. You're my students right now. Yeah, I'm your instructor. You're something that we're going to be talking about today. So first, the next slide says birth of change in woman. I'm going to read this kind of fast, but I'm going to explain as time goes. That says the holy deities the They placed a spiritual child, also known as a way Yajabat Harfano Mesa. Before she became the young lady, she was a way Yaja at Aid Yaja, Chekha Ista, Ama Yaja, Amasan Nala Ista, the birth of Yotka Ista, white child woman. Yotka Ista, Zesholi Bukha is confusion while finding the way around compared to what today's challenges. First man, first woman, they had a role in becoming the adopted parents, Navajo adoption. Now, then it says the Sa Shihin Sa woman had a role with Kinalta. Why the name and role of Yotka is Sa, white child woman, and the puberty ceremony, Kinalta. The Kinalta is about characteristic growth, mentality, emotional, physical, and spiritual changes. And so, being a young girl, then to become a young adolescent. And so she became changing with Masanat Lehem. Now, that's part now, but there's a huge story right there. There's a story. And then when after a while she gave birth to the birth of Navajo twins. And that's a totally different story. And then cut shape on that. So, in the female part, you go to Nick. So when a young girl reaches her time, when in the Navajo or in the intertribal ways, so she meets her moon, she becomes a young lady. When a young boy, when their voice changed, they have that baby voice for a while, preteen voice for a while, then all of a sudden their voice changed. That's where the cut shape, the sweat ceremony for the young man when the voice changes, characteristic growth aid. So now we're going to be talking about the birth of the clans here. But let me talk about this here. Let me change my focus right now. Change my focus to the story. Are deities. They at the beginning, long I guess you must have begun the time when Navajos were on Hassan Bakad Hazli, the come of the earth. Bakad they're moving around. I always say that when the historians they wrote a book on Navajo, they always said the key word was Navajos were nomads, wanderers. They wandered all over the place. They wandered all over the place. This time of year when this they kind of keep an eye on us as we traveled in Hassan. I believe through my research base and then through my readings, it's Kuja, Bloomfield, and the Kuja in Adishin. At the time is October, November, and December. Huge, huge fog. Condensation. So during that time, the people were wandering around. Look at those people wandering around. They have no direction. They stay. Where are they going? What should we do to provide this gift for them? What shall we do? But actually, they talked to one another. And so then they made an arrangement. Johna okay, we need to send a child down there. He had a wife there. Send a child down there. So during that time phase, okay, now this period in October, November, or December, that somewhere in that period, Adishi. Now let me change my kind of change my focus a little bit. At the time, we were wandering around, wandering about. We're in poverty. The chin she hadlo, but she do the hadlo. Aronana chiando the chindo those sato do ado she the hadlo all ado ya hastindo ya these sickness she the hadlo itan the hadlo so people were our people were struggling just like today. Same thing, the same concept today at the same concept. Now, now, she a بإذن أشيدو للخدوني شي there's she خدلون she بيجي away بإذن a little infant was sent in the just all in خليادي she way بإذن شي وين إليا Abraham was sent as a messenger for us. Then among the people, they were moving about. So then at that time, they're moving around and then they heard the baby cry. Well, we're hot children. Well, the first man and first woman had a who had the baby. I don't need him. And the people were kind of wandering around among each other. Then, nobody. You could hear the baby cry in the distance. The Ahabi Adishin. Don't she let's search for that baby hadoni. Ishin Ahabi Olda. Ishin Zashin Tcha. Ishin Tcha. So woman she coil ne it catching away. So here when they found that child, when that baby, the infant, in the away yaja or yet a wet yajo young till 10. So when she became the to she to the group she to the relatives, but the husband kind of create happiness among among the people that were sad, but the husband they became happy. Well, that's well anyway, now one time I was hired by Chenli Unified School District for 4 months. They asked me to do a research project on this particular concept, So during that time, they asked me to do this. They said, we need reliable information. We want you to go find this information. So then I had to go, the way I learned was to go see medicine people, So I found 2 from this area, Kode. I won't, just for confidential information, I won't disclose that. So A2 Anhana Aj. On the other side of the Arizona side, with the Tunhana Aj, one was a female and a male. And they talked to me, they talked to the group. The Chinle Unified School District, what they did is that we spent 4 months in researching all this information, researching. And one of the things why we had to bring this these medicine people, is to find a reliable information from them. Well, one of the interesting part is this. All 4 of them had different stories, all different variations of the regional teachings. So one of the things that I learned about this whole process is in 2 of the 3, 2 two of the medicine people that says, "Asanat lehe," when she was a baby and she became a young girl, a young lady, and became a young woman in 4 days. Now, on the other side, it says 12 days. So, and then one of the things that was very more interesting was the medicine people. They says, okay, now we, in order for you to really learn about this whole process, you need to sit in the Hokan with us. You need to sit down in the Hokan with us. You need to hear the songs. You need to hear the prayers. Okay. And I did. And I did. Now, when the baby was found, there is in our Navajo cultures called Navajo adoption. So we have, when that baby was picked up, there's probably a Navajo, the neck ado the wiji ado nana ado shin the natural herbs and the trees. If you visit that, just old in Gobnapper Hill, but around that area, it's very thick with sagebrush, very thick with cedar tree, juniper tree, very thick with all kinds of natural herbs. Well, anyway, when that baby was picked up, it's the same concept of what's going on in our daily, in the present society. We have at one time we had a high rate of teen pregnancy. Okay, it was high. When a young teen gets pregnant, now they're still in school, and sometimes they don't want to leave school, and so what do? Away get the baby, they give it to the maternal society. Want you to feed, nurture this child, and sometimes they just give the child up to the maternal society, a mayaja or the sister, somebody that's on that side of maternal society, and stays with the same maternal clans. So the Navajo adoption system is part of that. It's continuing on today. It's still practiced today. So now, it's a different subject. Okay, it's a totally different subject here. Nakigis Chinigit, the birth of Navajo twins. That's another totally different subject there. So, but here we're going to talk about the clans. Okay. So what happened is that when she grew, when she became a wet yaja and then a ed yaja, a question a cat before between the a ed yaja before she became a teenager, a question cannot stop. Her life changed there. So cannot stop. She changed. That's where a woman should talk about how that is. I can just identify it because I'm not a woman. I have to be careful of how I do my instruction on that. Now, now, a cannot stop. Everything was done. The sa in the sheba. I can do the now. Adoshin, after the Kinalta was done, then she, this is where I have a strong discrepancy with classrooms, culture education classrooms. I go to visit a lot of classrooms, and when Chinle Unified School District, we invited all the culture educators to come in we had close to like 100 culture educators, and I was responsible to get the story straight with them. I told them, I said, one of the thing is I disagree with the photo that's the image that's there in the classroom where she is dressed very pretty, but see, oh, she has a hair bun, and then she had, very beautiful squash blossom, velveteen shirts. This basket, I don't then because she the nice belt, sash belt, dress, and she's standing like this, holding this beautiful basket. I quit. Oh, she okay. Now let's think back. I told the culture educator. I said, all the culture education team members says, "I think back then. Let's go way back then." I says, "Do you think she was dressed like that at the time?" Well, I said, "Nope." How do you think? What would be the closest clothing that she would have? People, we list some things down, a few things, but one of the things that we all identified and agreed was Aishin Shash B Bihiki Ze that skin. You get the what do you call it? The deer hide and the elk hide. You had the and it so during that time I said that's how she was dressed. She wasn't dressed with a nice hair tie and beautiful earrings and so she wasn't dressed like that. We have to remember that that's the recent teachings of acculturation the snowbashna. Now, akutza. And then she says, okay, I came for a reason. I came for a reason. That reason now, let's go into the next frame. Now, kinalta usanat lehem. Dida eya anajam. Nantiniki, I'm going to teach you a clan. I'm going to teach you about these. It's a clan. We're going to have to teach one another. Succession, all the people who are standing around, and then she instructed this male and female, male and female, male and female. A perishina zo adayila. Na kwenenjum ne ne. I'm going to give you the first clan. She didn't need. This first clan is going to be konne adatil ne but need. So Kia ani she a left breast she did she just slowly went like this. She did shit. That I'm going to place this in your hand. Kia ani lido le. Ado shash na haliado le. Your spiritual guardian is going to be shash. In hada haliado le. But nijin. Ado the next two. But hanagani. A go. She back, right shoulder. She not dead right shoulder. Dead children. I don't that deal ne honk ne dollar. Ne egg hanaga ni no she dollar, but don't need. Either your spiritual guardian animal is going to be nestut so in ha halia dollar. That's going to be your protector. Ado tagun it could the she is so right underarm. But actually that shit. She in is so in hidi kedo lesbedot nijin. Akot is so was also a guardian at the time. The last one is Hashishni. The son left arm she hoped ilya. Kun nation edet shit Hassan le kadeti kudatilni hold it. Father Hashia, you take care of it. So do yago wherever you're going, where you're gonna go from here on. Hidig dikia ani la khanagani la ado todich ini la ado hashishni. She That was the instruction. Okay. At the time, there's no, we didn't know. So we didn't know. But this is the beginning of the clanship, the very beginning. Now, shush, nestutso, is so. And then the son, they're the guardians for all of us today. Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit of traditional, okay. When you go to a traditional as a family member individually for your personal life, for your family or your professional life, without ego. If I want a protection prayer, the traditional medicine person, the practitioners will identify shash, nestutso, istso, and then the sun in that prayer. Okay. Yes.
What is Ishto and the sun?
Okay. Shush is bear. Okay.
Mm.
Shush. Not Wingate Bears. Hey. Nestutso is cougar.
Okay.
Cougar. Istso is bull snake. Okay. Bull snake. The sun is porcupine. Okay. The sun. Those four. So now, excuse me. Now, so they were all grouped. So now here I'm gonna go to the next slide here. Next slide. This is every clan has a symbol. Okay. So name of the clan, the animals, the male and female leading the clan. To this day, we say Adonai. See, that's important first. Adonai. Well, that's the important, that's the first thing that we should say. Adonai means what is your clan structure? Okay. Now, cane, stones, color they represent. I'm going to talk about this here. Now, well, the story goes as this. Each individual, the clan structure, all the people got together. The two couples, now, gish, there was a spiritual cane that was identified. Okay, there was a cane. So, yeah, just for example here, I don't know if you can see this. Just for example here, this is my gish. Okay, can you see it? Not really.
It's blurry.
Okay, I see that. Okay,
Probably hold it closer to you.
okay,
Right there, closer. Yeah.
okay,
Oh,
okay. This is my gish. Okay,
oh.
it's dressed up with eagle feathers and tobacco ties that I don't lady double that I have some what do you call it, the arrowheads, but that's my gish.
Mhm.
Now every clan Asian gish so they had a gish king. I don't know how we're gonna have to give your guys Ishi sanat shin Tibe the husband so where are you gonna your direction is gonna be. Ishtashi Johat Achalam Hat East Shandata South West Naho Coast North. Each in our Navajo way of life, we have a color. We have white, blue, reddish, and black. Ako bijit the hallo. Ako large linike yoshke. That's one yoshke. I don't know iji the sheshe bash jene the hallo. We have they're available. They're part. Now I did say that in my lady did when you visit the traditional people, the traditional medicine man, they use those 4 stones to place an offering for your protection. That's what this is for. The first clan group, the second clan group, none Shisha. What about us? The third one, Shisha. The last one, 4. So each of them had a cane. They had their animals protection group, and then they had the cane, the stones. So then, okay, take care of it. Okay. Now, next group, their position in the clan system. Now, first clan group, Kinya'ani, I say, Yoske Bekish, okay, Yoske Bekish, meaning the cane. Ado Shash, Kanagan Edo, Bekish, Nestuitso. Third clan group is Kodachini, the Shilipikish, is so. Ado Dagon Hashishni, Bashin Bekish, the sun, see. Those are the 4 main identification in our clan group. Now, our people, my people, when I do a lot of culture education about clan groups, I always like you go to classrooms and you see a lot of culture education posters, information, and they're inside the classroom, the culture educators. One of the things that I try to remind people is this. The first one is on your right side, that's I am. Right. The second one is left side, you go, Bashish Chin, my father's side. Okay, Bashish Chin. On the third one, on your right side again, Dashit Shay. Okay, Dashit Shay. Dashit Shay. Now, on your last one, on your left side, your paternal side is going to be Dashanale. Okay, Dashanale. Let me repeat this now. Nishle, I am. Bashichin, born for. Right side, Dashache, my paternal clans. Now, Dashanale, paternal clans. Okay, those are the four clans. This is what changing the woman taught us. Now, the other piece is this. I'm going to get technical here. Okay, technical. I tell the kids, and through my research, is this. Nishle has 4 clans. You need to know your 4 clans. Nishle, got to know your 4 clans. Chain, your dad's side. He has 4 clans. They have 4 clans. They have 4 clans. Okay. Now, Cornelia, do your math. 4 plus 4. What is that?
8.
Okay. 4 plus 4. What is that?
8.
8 plus 8.
16.
Okay. Now that's just on your mom's side. Okay. That's just on your mom's side. Now, do the math again. This is your dad. 4 plus 4.
8.
4 plus 4.
8.
Okay. What's that now?
16.
Okay. Now, your mom, your dad's clan, 16 plus 16. What is that?
32.
Okay. That's how much clan we must know.
Wow.
That's just your mom and your dad. That's it. What about your masane and che? It gets complicated.
Yes.
But it's good. It's good. But remember, we talked about self-image. Okay. I'm going to talk about a little bit of the self-image now. Fida. Characteristic. Now, we have to be careful what we say. whatever comes out of our mouth. We have to be careful. Number one is remember when we say she'aware, when we say she'aware, ashane, the nego, when we say ashane, meaning means is this right here. There is a spiritual connection right here. And the net word is aha. Aha means in our Navajo terms, we sometimes we hardly use this word called has'atane. Has'atane. This is where it is right here. There's a connection here. Has'a. Okay. When we say shane, okay, shane, that's where it's connected. When we say that spiritual connection, sh means you. When you say you means nishle, vashishin, dashiche, dashanele, shane, ne means what's the future? Okay, future. So a lot of times when I teach this, a lot of instructions that I give to the people, ashane, and then he says, ashane, she'aware, my baby, my child, she'aware, she'yaje, my baby, my child again. See, and then at the same time, we use these words when we get pissed off, when we get upset. Unfortunately, there's this word, this our mouth tends to say the B word, the FU word, the D word, yeah, the whatever frustration, you say those words that come out. At one time, did your grandpa and grandma says, "Put out young tit." Did they tell you to talk like that? No, no, no. They tell us, "Naza ba take care of what you say to people." Now, it's a very very interesting, when we talk about the gift of changing women. Now, at a shadow in the shadow it now Disho. Now I'm gonna
Gotcha.
go. Oh, I'm gonna go through the slides now. I'm gonna read this. Okay, the clan now. Disho. Now Kiaani. Towering House Clan, would ya? Changing Woman gave this clan as a bear as a protector. Shush. The bear is still a strong symbol of protection to the people. Excuse me. The bear is sacredness, called one who walks on the mountain. Zil ya na ra would ya the neck echigo. Zil ya na ra. The bear claws, heart, and gallbladders are used in the ceremonies. If your son or acts like a gets upset and growls, that's where this kind of ceremony is to calm their mind down. That has to be done. Something happened in their livelihood, something happened in their child, in the boyhood stages, pre-adolescent stage, or pre-teen, and also becomes an adult young man. And that's where so bears are similar to humans, so you should not stare at them directly. And you should not walk in their footprints of a bear or look into their eyes. Or else you become that angry individual. These days, we have a lot of young people who are angry. Okay, a lot of young people. We have an angry nation. Good, but that shit the net. You see and read what goes on daily in our societies. So now, next one, Tisho. Now, the first clan group, the Yotkaibigishash Kiaani, the original clan. This group right here, it's us the ne but ani halkay the ne thaji the ne shash the ne nadat the ne. Say all these group are part of Kiaani. The Edat, this is the first group, Kiaani the Edat Adida. So now, as you adopted clans are touching it, they're adopted groups. Now, a lot of times when I'm talking about this, different people who instructed differently. And they say, well, then we're not part of that clan. No, we're part of. I said, I'm not. I just identified it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying you're part of this group. So now the next group. Asanat gave this clan a mountain line. So as a protector, healer, and spiritual leader. Well, ceremonies and songs tell of the mountain lion's medicine powers. Hayut, the mountain lion is said to be protecting against evil because its eyes are able to see darkness. And you can see. The skins of the mountain lions were used to make quivers and worn by the Navajo warriors to provide bravery and protection against the enemy. Its fat is mixed with ashes and massaged into patients and athletes to increase their strength and speed. So now we don't do this anymore. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's just all natural abilities now. If but it's not. One of the thing is it's hard to find. Number one, when they're the people next to people don't say I killed the mountain lion. Unless it attacks the sheep, attacks the animals, or attack a human. According to people, tend to kill the animal. Now, Khanagan is clan structure. These are Khanagan, the clan structure. Etida, Khanagan, Etho Khana, Ado Hashkan Hatzo, Khanezani, Nahopani, Tasakar, Kapahat, and Khalsot, and Kopaj, Aj. Those are the clans, those adopted clans. So so it's really interesting how when you talk about it to the students, when you talk about to the preteens and the adolescents and then the moms and dads and then when you talk to the young parents, guess what? They don't know. Our young people don't know their clans. So when I go to the classroom or to do a parent training at a parent night, and I ask them about their clans, guess what they do? I don't know. They shrug their shoulders. I don't know. Then they say, ask your mom, the child. If you ask your child if they don't know their clans, then the child was, I don't know. Then they say, ask your mom. The mom says, I don't know. Then they point at their dads. I don't know. Really, that's how it is. So and some schools are doing very well teaching this. They're doing very well teaching this, where the level of education of understanding self-image, about self-identification, where they're learning their class is really good in some of the schools. So they're really good. I know what schools are doing that. I know what schools are doing that. But for state schools, and then again, for instance, Farmington Central Schools and Gallup and Winslow and Flagstaff and different ones again, they're behind. They're still behind. They're still behind. They still need a lot of help. But BIE schools, well, they're doing their same thing. They're doing their best. So that's where I come in to teach about clan structure, to talk about and unfortunately, when you start talking about this, some students don't really want to. They don't care. It's not relevant to them. It's not my history. It's not that. So it's sad how the parents are teaching them. There's no intervention. Next group. Changing Room gave this client a bull's neck. The Yosh as a guardian. There are many images of snakes in sand paintings, ceremonies. Some represents lightning. A lot of times, body, lightning, where jiko and then the other part of that is the more I studied about ceremony is cancer. Lightning in the or the edge. So and then you see, and I hear the last recent ceremonies that are done in the Ebiche. A lot of the patients were cancer patients. And so so they use a lot of painting inside inside the Yebiche the first 2 days. But the lightning Nikki was John that need card. People out there, and sometimes you could feel can go eat net to do it. Oh, a vibration, sound vibration. You know, and then things started to develop later in your age as you get older. So novel people say that when you see Dios possibility rain is soon to come, a sign of respect for the sacredness of the Dios. A teaching for novel children is to sit inside and not run around outside during the race. No way. The reason why is in this town when there's the lightning. Ooh, this town. Who's gonna fix that? But it's a case, but it's that's the reason why they teach that a long time ago. No way. But although people consider other snakes evil, they respect the Yosh and consider it harmless. Some people they have the snake as a pet. Number one is it helps eats rats. Hawandi, around the sheep camp. So and then to the chini clan okay to the koja be taught ni since the card ado yo the tobas na aja okay okay sasna ado hinani oda gesha chini the toy head lin adopt the clans oda aja. So now I'm going to go to the last frame here. Cornelia, I'm going to go a little bit extra, okay? Time frame. I'm going to go a little bit extra because I got some things that I want to talk about. Changing one, we gave this clan as a porcupine. The sun ate it, and the sun is wise. It's a case. Resourceful and thoughtful. The characteristic is common among the members of the mud clan. They tied the quills of the porcupine to a cradle board to bring blessings. Breathing in smoke of burning quills will cure congestion. Now, the last group adopted groups so but now there is a lot to learn in your group. Cornelia, in your group, maybe a where you need to round up all your relatives there, and each of them identify themselves about the clan. This way, you as a minister leading the church there, it will help you understand a little bit more to understand your congregation. Not only that is you would know the characteristic of the individual. Really, honey. When a child is misbehaving, when a young teenager don't know what they're doing, or a young adult, or the husband go, you know why? One of the reasons why is because they only know one clan. That's it. That's it. We did a group. This is a true story. There was a school just south of Gallup, going towards Zuni, Brett Springs, was yeah. Excuse me, Brett Springs, was yeah. The principal and now we um, we bought this. I developed this system where in 9 months she was afraid that her the school was not the parents were not really learning about Navajo language or the culture. So what I developed is this for the students, for the home, for the parents is this. Once a month, we designed it to the students to learn 10 Navajo words. 10 Navajo words in 1 month. Very simple. You could say those clans first. Or direction. Yadashkil, universe. Mother Earth. First group. They learn that whole month. Then the next time, plants. You can identify plants. Or else the next, it all depends the environments of the students, what they want to learn. Shemasane da she shedash mayaje shelake shezede shejeyaje sheje. See, planned words. So that ego. Learn those 10 words. Guess what? One of the objectives we had was this. By May, this was sixth up to sixth grade. During their promotion day, we wanted the students to learn 10 words per month. In the 9 months, how many words is that? 90. Okay. And one of the things that we accomplished that. They invited me back for their promotion, and the students they went beyond that. And the students they went up there, they educated themselves about their clans, and talked about their education, and the promotion was done about 40% in Navajo. It was good. It was good. It was good. Now, next frame. Okay, next frame. The Daoud, yeah, which means other ethnic groups, other ethnic clan. We live in a society where everybody is now interracially married, international, intertribal. A lot of happenings. So there's Apache, Hopis, Pueblos of the Rio Grande, Zuni, Pueblo of the southern and western Arizona. They're coming to Navajo homes, marrying our children, South American relatives, Aztecs, people of the north, North Dakota, the Dakota people, Cheyenne, Cheyennes, Ponkas, and Plain Indians, Europeans, the Africans, non-Asian, and Spanish. Just get. So now a child is now introduction go internationally, though internationally. So, but at the same time, remember the neni. First thing is the ne, your mom's clan. That's the main one. If it is still in your blood system, it's still when you were born, put this chi go. Some people practice this. Some people never practiced this when the mom gave birth to the child. The Navajo name comes. Some never practiced that. Okay, some never practiced that. We try to do our best, but in the long run, ladies and gentlemen, in the long run, you're still Navajo. You're Navajo first. Some might be could be from Bikawa, Apache, could be African, could be from the time Asian than vice versa, vice versa. So number one thing is all of you folks here that's listening to me, you're the net first, and then no khad no na hasad no has no you're the net I see females and come out a stra the sun no tod no I don't know khad no I don't that ego you have a real maternal society is very very righteous, you might say, rightful to a lot of things. You're the mom. The maternal society is the dominant society in Navajo. Okay. Now, okay. In our life, this can be brought up again later on, but in our life, in our family structure, there's always going to be the chinchalodolish. I'm going to break off from this. I wanted to find out who their dad was. Where does my dad live? So our children, same thing, same mentality. Who's my dad? Where's my mom? So now yet that same concept they're looking. Neshi has three signing the has hunjan. They were group and because they're afraid of all the 12 of the gate so del gate al yeki ajat asati bahne eshink and aj but that's but from that story this comes the chinchi the chinchi the chin haskin halodo the chin hasan al halodo. Remember, there's always a duality in our society. The shlido bashes chin, there's always a duality. So the chin, on the way, they did the pass and cove and rat valley up the hill that looked at the na shade do is between na shade. In his and here what did the chin the Chinsali Kojigo from the Mexico a done the chin done. That's how they say. So a correction there. We had to say the Chinsali, the Chinsali, what that these five some has taken those some we have to be careful of how we talk about son. I want to meet old age to know she, but you have to be careful what you're talking about because a lot of times we can't even manage ourselves when that it's hard. So sometimes we wonder about it. We take our time and think about it. We sit around and try to think about time frame. Time frame is very critical in our life. The sickness, yeah, has king do yeah, son or legend. Yeah, sickness. Look what's going on in our society. What's going on on this Mother Earth. 5, 6 years ago, COVID, unexpectedly. I didn't, boy, just it's going on. They elders, most of the elders that I used to depend on for protection prayers, though zito all gone, all gone, all gone. And that really hurt my mind mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And so the sickness sickness the kosa still around. COVID still around. Actually, I'm afraid that we're going to have a lot of sickness this coming school year. This January comes in, children's going to be sick because dreams dreams interpretation of dreams. And so you have to always administer yourself to what you dreamed of. You can't control the dream because it comes it controls it. The dreams will sometimes control you, but you have to pay attention to it. Last one, it has well, although a lot of times when we say shahajopa, we tend to come to realize it, and we have to be careful of that word shahajopa. You know, we have to be careful about that word. Some people say, you have a $400 or $500 truck. You had to pay for it. The home you don't visit your elders. You know, they're having a good life. But some along the way, you know, you have to become very, very kind. You have to be human. The Neshiban is a case of this. When you do that, you're going to have to really administer your kindness to people. I need the notion. I need the notion. I need it's just a quick story, true story of right now I have two young boys. They're 19 and 15. They started Monday. What's today? Saturday. They started Monday, Tuesday. I hired them because of I want them to understand visit them one day, and the way their living conditions just really shocked me. Their trailer was just small, 5 children in there, mom and dad, mom both unemployed and living on SSI. Excuse me. And then at the same time, no food, no water, no firewood. They could fix their rap, but their money. So I said, okay. I took that responsibility of myself. I said, I was my brothers and sisters. I said, Kadi Jatini. I said, I want to hire those two boys. Let them earn some money, learn about responsibility, learn about discipline, I told them you have to learn to trust me and I have to trust you. So that ego. I don't respect along the way. So so one day I took some wood out there. I bought some wood and I just said, here, just want to unload it. And then I told my brothers and sisters, I said, okay, let's help them. Khadija. I said, let's help them. Let's go help them. So that's what we did. my brother took the responsibility to take the clothing size of the boys and the two young girls, and they bought clothing. Everyone has name. It was good. But so the chin sa ya fish do this here before us, ladies and gentlemen. So one of these days, it probably can be your teaching stage at Cornelia in the congregation. So, okay, next few slides. I see people dozing off on me. Abiga. Day, yeah, just sad it. They just sad, yeah. We are at peace. What I talked about, it comes your thoughts. Become your plans. Of manage my livelihood. Knowledge of yourself. We'll be happy. That's my message to all of you. Remember, we need to say and we have to be grateful, be kind to our own siblings. This is who I am. My address, my email address is my email address. Continue to move forward. Talk to one another with kind words. Don't be harsh in your language.
Oh, Neto, enjoy our rest of our Saturday afternoon with all these knowledge and teaching that you shared with us.